All right, back for part three. So they're saying that the King aspect of it represents some the Puerto Ricans or Hispanics, because some of these camps they'll tell you that Hosea 7 to 8 is talking about the Puerto Ricans, and some of them will tell you that it's talking about Hispanics in general. But they said it's talking about the light skinned, quote unquote, so-called Hispanics or so-called Puerto Ricans. So we're gonna start off at verse 1 in Hosea 7. When I would have healed Israel, then the iniquity of Ephraim was discovered, and the wickedness of Samaria, for they commit falsehood, and the chief cometh in, and the troop of robbers spoiled without, and they consider not their hearts, that I remember all their wickedness. Now their own doings have beset them about. They are before my face. Verse 3, they make the king glad with their wickedness, and the princes with their lies. They are all adulterers. He's still dealing with adultery, just like we read in the first 6 chapters. As an oven heated by the baker, who sees it from raising after he had knead the dough until it be leavened. And in the day of our king, the princes have made him sick with bottles of wine. He stretched out his hand with corners, for they have made ready their heart like an oven, while they lie in wait, and the baker sleepeth all the night. In the morning it burneth as a flame of fire. They all are all hot as an oven, and have devoured their judges, and their kings are fallen. There is none among them that had called unto me. Ephraim, he had mixed himself on the people. Ephraim is like a cake unturned. So the answer for that, you got to read from verse 3 all the way down to verse 6. That was just a parable, but the Most High was pretty much saying to the tribe of Ephraim that their heart was hot as an oven, meaning the Ephraimites at that particular time, they was being hard-headed, they was following after other philosophies, they were worshiping other false deities and false idols. So the Most High, when you go back and read from verse 3 all the way down to verse 6, it says, for they have made ready their heart like an oven, while they lie in wait. Their bakers sleepeth all the night. In the morning it burneth as a flame. Verse 7, they are all hot as an oven. So that's the understanding of Ephraim is a cake not turned, man. They were all making their hearts hot like an oven. It was being hard-headed and stubborn. It had nothing to do with the color of their skin, man. Because you notice when you read Hosea 7 and 8, number one, they're not even going to start with the first, second, going all the way down to the 6th chapter. That's number one. And when you read Hosea 7 and 8, in regards to the caking aspect of it, you notice on how they're not going to start at verse 3, going all the way down to verse 7. Because it gives you a proper analysis and a proper understanding of what the caking aspect is dealing with. You see that? So I'm going to continue on. It says, strangers have devoured his strength, and he knoweth it not. Yet gray hairs are here and there upon him, yet he knoweth not. And the pride of Israel testified to his face, and they do not return to Yahweh their power, nor seek him for all of this. Ephraim also is like a silly dove without a heart. They call Egypt. They call to Egypt, and they also go to Assyria, because at that particular time there was also scattered among the Assyrians and as well as the Egyptians. So if you're going to turn around and say that Hosea 7 to 8 is talking about them intermingling with any particular individual, then it would have been who? It would have been the Assyrians or the Egyptians, two quote-unquote so-called black nations or melanated individuals or people. They all would have came out looking like quote-unquote typical so-called Negroes. So that's another lie that you niggas out there teaching, man. It says, I will spread my net upon them, and I will bring them down as the fowls of the heaven. I will chastise them as their congregation I heard. Woe unto them, for they have fled from me, the destruction unto them, because they have transgressed against me. Though I have redeemed them, yet have I not spoken lies against them. I'm gonna stop right there, man. I'm gonna go to let's see, I'm opening my notes right now. I'm gonna go to Genesis 41 and 45, man. A lot of lies are being taught by all the rest of these different camps out there. They're just blatantly lying and deceiving our people, man. And when I say our people, I'm talking about these so-called Negroes scattered throughout the Americas, you indigenous of this continent, all you Negroes scattered in Africa, all you Negroes scattered in Europe, Asia, all throughout the four corners of the earth, all you Israelites of Negroid descent, man. So I'm going to go to the book of Genesis, the first, all right. Go to Genesis 41 and 45. It says, and Pharaoh called Joseph, and Pharaoh called Joseph's name Zaphnath-Paneah, and he gave him to wife Asenath, the daughter of Potiphar, priest of On. And Joseph went out over all the land of Egypt. So this is a brief historical analysis on how Joseph married the Pharaoh's daughter. See, so now I'm going to jump down to verse 50. And it says, and unto Joseph were born two sons before the years of famine came, which Asenath, the daughter of Potiphar, priest of On, bare unto him. And Joseph called the name of the firstborn Manasseh, for the mighty said, he had made me forget all of my toil and all of my father's house. And the name of the second he called Ephraim, for the mighty had cursed me to be fruitful in the land of my affliction. You see that? So when you read verse 45, Joseph, like I was saying before, he married Pharaoh's daughter, which was an Egyptian. I don't got to tell you what color the Egyptians are. All you got to do is go all throughout the walls of ancient Kemet, all throughout the walls of ancient Egypt, and you can clearly see that the Egyptians have quote-unquote so-called black skin. They all have quote-unquote Africoid, so-called Africoid or so-called Negroid features. And he brought forward two sons, Ephraim and Manasseh, out of the womb of an Egyptian woman. So what color would the Ephraimites or even the Manassites would look like today? They will look like you and me. They all have, for the most part, Negroid features. This is factual. Not these quote-unquote so-called Puerto Ricans, these light-skinned so-called Puerto Ricans, which are Spaniards or European origins. I'm talking about the Big Pons, the Fat Joes, the Jennifer Lopez, the Ricky Martins. They're not our people. But the Afro-Puerto Ricans who are living in the islands of Puerto Rico are indigenous of that island, man. Because when you go back and check out the Arawaks, when you go back and check out the Tainos, when you go back and check out and bring forth historical documentations on the Caribs and so on and so forth, and the people that were dwelling in that land at that particular time, you're going to find out that they were all quote-unquote so-called Negroes. And I have historical documentations that can validate all those premises. So when you go back and read Hosea 7 and 8, Hosea 7 and 8 is not talking about Puerto Ricans, and it's not talking about Hispanics. So with that, I'm signing out. I like to say all praises due to Yahweh, Yahweh Ga'al, Yahweh Gocc, which is the Redeemer and the Savior of Israel. I'm out. Shalom.